How do you visualize 50,000 cars per day? How do you tell someone, that's okay, that's like College Avenue? And you still face a gridlock. So think about that. There's a message between the lines. I found that a few years ago. I can't remember the real Earl, whatever it comes. I remember a Huffington Post on immigration within states. The discussion was politically involved, of course. The discussion was about where are people coming from. The gray is the outside of the US, and the discussion basically was percentage rates. Who knew the reason why Florida is not here, because it was a North Pacific West discussion. So I could do this in a table. I also could say something about, there are like 17% of outside of the US here in the southern parts of New Mexico. Or so. Different way. This is really cool in a blog, on a web page, lots of graphics. I think it was even interactive. But it's not really helping right now. Don't discuss the content. It's just a visual idea of we have a problem between visualization of our message and when are we going to use a map. I have not shown yet really a map. This is still visualization with geographic boundaries. Yeah? Then we have this guy. Write this down. Yeah, Minard, Joseph Minard. French economy geographer, cartographer, and civil engineer. This is the coolest graphic ever made. If you want to get an extra point in life, not in class, if you ever end up being in front of the original, take a selfie, send it to me. You will be ever in this class, in this lecture, because of your selfie. This is legendary. So this guy mapped out a tragic European history. Started here, moving over there, is the war campaign of Napoleon, the Russian Crusade. Moscow. So if this is troops moving in, this is troops moving out. Here, you have time, space, and time, and this is temperature in minus Celsius degrees. This is minus 30 here. Minus 30 Celsius degrees with the date of that happening. Yes, sir?
Does the width represent the amount of troops?
Yeah. So if you Google Minard, M-I-N-R-A-R-D, you will find a little bit more details about that and the story behind that. It's a fascinating and dramatic visualization of life. It puts time with dates, puts temperature, it puts group movements and significant battles and locations. Very dramatic, but it really moves data into information. This is as tragic as this is beautiful. I will have an example later on that gives you actually the human factor back when you look at dead people. It's one of my most important examples in this today's session. So what does this mean? When we talk about map versus visualization, we need to understand the idea of what visualization means. It's a process. I have raw data, I have processed data, and I have then a process that puts a research perspective or research question, sometimes we call it analytics, into this process of how do I tell that story. There's a great book out there that says how to lie with statistics. And you can see a subdivision, I think, on it, and a Pinocchio nose. Yeah? Because you can use different graphics and even statistics table to demonstrate false information. Oh, I don't want to say false information. You can misinform because you don't know better how to present your data. And therefore you don't present proper information. Huh? Okay, the map for the GIS product in between. At any given time, I could use a map for that. Or I decide not to do that. That could be the other reason. This is an old example from Google Maps. What do you see here? Besides, oh my God, what's that? What do you see here?
Nothing.
By the way, I'm not a big fan to give my PowerPoints away. Yeah? I might do some slides where I say these are important, but the idea is I put a lot of effort in it to make it really, really amusing to teach you in a quick PowerPoint talk. And I try to get this done within an hour usually.
So would you like recommend like for us to copy this stuff down or just like keep moving?
All right, think about this. Can you remember all these bullet points right now? Can you remember
Definitely.
all these different stages? No. On that slide, what do you remember from the prior slide?
Was that the
That
fifth?
was GIS mapping.
There's 4.
You have a visualization has a process. It helps you go from raw data with a refinery process and with certain analytics to a final product. Could be visualization, graphics, or could be a map. Do I really want to know that you understand that, well, human interaction, this is your process. Do I need to know that you have raw data in an idiosyncratic format or relationships based on variables and metadata? No. I need you to understand that it's a process that moves raw data in a refinery process into information. And depends on how good you are and proper you are in that refinery process. You actually create real information or accidentally misinform. I have a few slides and examples for that. Yeah? Again, this goes by the alpha versus one minus alpha. If I just want to say something, I can say it. If I have some data to back it up, I can say it. If I have scientifically robust, good data that turns into information, you can stand outside and scream it to everyone in the world because you're able to back it up and you get your finance team to finance you. Same thing, think about this. Well, let's do an example. Market study. Well, I have all this data, did take a look at it, and I really think my auto parts shop will really be great here at that corner. All right, can you back that up? Well, I went through the last 10 years of business data, compared that on a mapping process, filtered out everything in the specialty shops, then crossed it over the current existing market and competition, have the location of all competitors in 2 hours drive time, and have the purchasing power in a specific social demographic environment that I'm interested in to target. Which sales pitch on creating the process here of refining your data and presenting that at the end in a talk rather than in the map or visualization would you invest $5 million in?
Have to see the data if it's real.
I like you. All right. What about this data? What do you see? All right. Let's start learning how to look at that in an analytical way. Where is this maybe? Do I have any geographic locations that I can find and reference that where that is? Is that in LA?
New York.
Why is it not LA?
Jersey City.
It tells you New York and Jersey City.
What gives away that this is not LA?
Traffic.
Water.
I have labels that say Jersey City and New York. To double check if this is really New York, well, that looks pretty much like Manhattan Island if you accept that the yellowish here is built environment or land and then blue is something. Yeah? What else do you see?
Expressways.
Streets, network, infrastructure, yeah? Streets, what else?
Location.
Ooh, transportation. What do you see in transportation?
At the bottom, like your Wall Street, this is a real, like,
Yeah. Yeah, don't take that one because it puts you up into Brooklyn and it takes like 40 minutes to come back. Really bad if you're on the way to Brooklyn. What else do you see?
Data points.
Unknown numbers of points, exactly. Any idea what that could be?
Pictures.
Pictures, locations of pictures. Would it help to give us an idea, maybe put a scale bar in it so we know this is 20 miles or 100 miles? Would it help to declutter this maybe because those ABCs here are definitely something else than the picture locations and all that? Why would I need a metro station map like this if the pictures are important? So again, declutter, keep it simple. Huh? All right. Ooh, this one. Ha! I think this is actually from the book, yeah. How to Live with a Map. You know? Is Connecticut the worst or New York? Pennsylvania, Maryland, New Jersey, Rhode Island, and etc. What do you see? I know, I present you limited context, so learn to deal with limited context, like flying blind or diving in bad visibility. What do you know? What do you see?
You're making the occupied status based on time.
Huh?
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I said, you're making the occupied status based on having a telephone.
All right.
You see a structure of the data so that you automatically pick in that one is the best and one is the worst, but it depends on how you structure that data to make it the best or worst.
Elaborate here, please.
Well, if you look at the picture on the first one, you're gonna say, okay, below 10% is good and above 50% is bad. Then you go to the second one, it says below 20% is good, above 30% is bad. But the more you shrink it, the more you shrink those numbers, the more you have in that bad category. So it depends on
Okay.
how much more bad you want to be.
You heard that example before. You read the book, didn't you? All right. Start simple from the beginning. What we have here is a heading and name for a map. Yeah? It tells us that we're looking at the story of occupied homes, occupied housing units, lacking a telephone in 1960. Yeah, there was something called a landline, something that has a spiral cord on it and a wheel you had to dial. I'm still waiting for the app that comes out to say, instead of typing the numbers, I can actually dial with a wheel. And I'm paying $5 for it. Yeah? All right. So yeah, not being at the baseball game and getting a phone call. No, you had to be at home, leave a note if someone else needed to get the phone. All right, 1960. So Stone Ages in telecommunication for the iPhone users today. Yeah? So what is the geographic unit we are looking at? Or its geographic extent? Well, here barely to make out in terms of the boundaries. Here a little bit better. It says the northeastern United States. And then we have here like a little bit Delaware. And, it's really bad graphics, but you can allocate a certain states, Virginia and Pennsylvania, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Jersey, Delaware, kind of that area. Yeah? So, let's say we're interested here in the Washington DC area, large Washington, Philly area to deal with telephones. Yeah? As James pointed out the right way. This is killing it. Why? Because they're using different intervals and segmentation to convey a different story to you. And with the idea also that you use different fill characters here or gradients, yeah? Say, okay, occupied housing units. This looks pretty good. There's a gap, there's below 10, but it's really hard to say. Well, it's actually, I got trapped here too. It's lacking a telephone. It's not having one, lacking. So pretty much, you're here in the rural area and nobody cares about it, and you're here in the wild, wild west and nobody cares about the phone. You have more than 15% of households lacking a phone. These guys have one. Like here in that diagram, no. If you look different scale up here, different story. So West Virginia, the Virginia area, still bad, but here the middle stretch is completely different. Same data, different process of visualization and analytics. A simple change here